Good morning. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of September 2024, and the time now is 12 minutes past 6 a.m. in the morning. This is the message for Chris Eubank Sr., the father of Chris Eubank Jr. This is a message for Chris Eubank Sr. Chris, I respect you, but I find you're very intense. I find you very intense. You have this intensity, which I find confusing. You're intense. You got this intensity, like this strength, this energy coming from you. I see you a lot on YouTube, or on the internet. You got this intensity, like the way you speak. Now, you're a very successful person through boxing. And I don't know whether you would be as successful in any other profession or in any other walk of life. I don't know whether you would have achieved the same fame and wealth and success in any other profession. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just saying I don't know, like whether if you had chosen architecture or if you had started your own retail business store, or if you had been a solicitor or a doctor or a lawyer, or you would have achieved the same level of wealth and fame and success in those other professions. But boxing has been good to you, hasn't it? I did read your autobiography. I read your autobiography about maybe a year ago. I read your autobiography. It's not a bad book. Not a bad book. But I find you very intense. You've got this intensity. Now, I started boxing when I was 12 years old. And I don't have that same intensity that you have. Now, I know you became a champion. And you became almost a household name. But you've got this intensity. I'm thinking to myself, well, here's a man that's made it. It's almost as if like God gives you a house. I'm not saying you, Chris. I'm saying like if another person, God gives them a house, a car, a beautiful wife, a high-paying job, home contents insurance, life insurance, all the things that you could possibly give a person, and they still have this gripe. I think to myself, like, well, hold on a minute. You got people out on the street with fuck all. There's people out on the street with nothing. And there's people who see things happening or that don't involve them, and they're upset about it. I'll say that again. They see things happening in the world. Obviously it's the big world, isn't it? So things are going to happen, isn't it? I mean, there's billions of people on the planet. So billions of people somewhere are going to do things that are going to be uncontrolled by people on the other side of the planet. It's natural. It's normal. That's going to happen. For instance, I'll give you an example. People in Sri Lanka, if they start a protest, those in Australia may hear about it, or they may be wondering what's going on. Why it don't concern them in Australia if it's in Sri Lanka, that kind of thing. So what I'm saying to you, things are going to happen, but you seem to be like, you got a chip on your shoulder. You know? There's many black people, Chris, who are less fortunate than you. You know this. They're less fortunate than you. And I don't know if I can say this to you, but every black person is a child of God. Yeah. I know now in today's world you've got this whole rap scene, this music and the culture. And people say, oh, they're scum and they're this and they're that and they're rubbish and they're nasty people and they're a nasty bit of work and this and that. I know what people say about them. But you've got this intensity. Somebody must have got, hold on a minute. Like, how could you like that? Now, I want to choose my words carefully here. Now, God is love. So that means God loves you and he loves me. Now, I may not be as devout as you in your religious walk in this life. I may not be as devout or as experienced in the scriptures as you. I may not know the Holy Bible inside and out, but that doesn't mean God doesn't love me. I can go anywhere in private and pray to God and get down on my knees and confess my sins, and God will hear me. He will give me the time of day. That's a fact. It doesn't matter about how much I know or whether I know Timothy or Mark or Matthew or Luke or John inside and out, word for word. That's irrelevant to God. It's me and him, personal. So if I get down on my hands and knees, but no, not my hands. If I get down on my knees, serious and solemn, close my eyes and lower my head and put my hands together and pray, he'll hear that prayer. That's a fact. I may not get no answer, but he will hear the prayer. He will hear the prayer, yeah. So that's the main thing we need to know, that he will hear the prayer. Because once he hears the prayer, he knows. So you don't need to worry, because once he knows, he knows. You don't forget. God's not like us. You don't forget. So what I'm saying to you, Chris, you're very intense, man. You got to cool it down, hold it down. Hold it down means, it's a slang. I don't know if you know that one, hold it down. It's like, hold it down means, how can I translate for you, hold it down? Hold it down is like saying, you're rocking the boat. You're creating too much waves. It's not all about you. I know you was champion and you're very successful and you was on television but boxing is not all about you. Like yesterday, I was thinking a lot about James Jem Mace. James Jem Mace. I was on YouTube, watched a short biography about his life. It's not just about you. You're not like the father of boxing, are you? I mean, do you think you're the father of boxing? Did you write any rules of how to fight? I'm asking, did you write the rules of how to, did you add anything to it? You know, there was the London prize ring rules, the London prize ring. Then there was the Marquis of Queensberry's that we go by now. So what I'm saying to you, yes, you're successful, but there's Marvin Hagler, Larry Holmes, Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, Joe Frazier, Joe Bugner, Frank Bofa. So many. So them. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many famous fighters and boxers. I don't know if there's so many famous fighters and boxers but there's so many fighters. There's been so many fighters over the past 80 years. Over the past 80 years, there's been so many. 80 years, that's a lot. That's a huge number. 80 years of living. There's been so many fighters. 80 years. So many fighters. So I'm saying you're not the only one. Why are you so intense? I started training when I was 12 years old. My name is the Bull of Lewisham. I started when I was 12. I'm not intense. I started when I was 12, mate. 12 years old. That's primary school. I went to a local library with my older brother. I took a book off the shelf and that was it. I got involved. I fell in love with boxing. That was it then. The Contender. That was the name of the book. The Contender. 12 years old. I'm not intense. It means fuck all. My name is the Bull of Lewisham, Chris. I hope you understand because we're men. I'm a man, you're a man. Yeah? I'm a man, you're a man. It's so difficult for me these days to express myself to people, as experienced as I am in the things I do. It's really hard. It's getting worse. I'm saying. To say the simple things, I have to double think it. The simple things that I would express to my brethren or to my friends, I have to double think it when I'm talking to certain people. Like, it could be taken completely the wrong way when you're not really implying that. Because I'm not trying to be smart or clever or sarcastic or use any kind of science. I'm just speaking plainly. There's nothing behind it. It's not like you have to think and double think and say, yeah, what did he say and what did he mean? But no, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, as you hear it is how it is. I'm not trying to be rude or to diss you and you go away. But he dissed me and thinking about it over and he said something. He really meant something else and yeah, I didn't like that. And I'm not doing that. I'm not at school. I'm not at school. I'm not at school. I know I'm like one of those people that you can imagine that you say, yeah, he's one of those people. You can see them on the bus and they look at you and they say, yeah, you know, they chat to you and then in the Jamaican lingo, wagwan. But I'm not at school. I'm past that stage now because I noticed that my generation or our generation, they've got this thing that we're at, not you, Chris, but they've got the thing that we're still at school. Like I'm still a child. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm not saying you, Chris. I'm saying that there's this mindset where when we talk that we're at secondary school. Like we haven't left secondary school. We haven't left secondary school. We're still there. Sometimes I say, where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? That's what I'm saying. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying I'm saying like there's this must be a conspiracy because they're saying like it doesn't matter how old you are. Anyway, you take care of yourself. My name is the Bull of Lewisham, and I'm a boxer fighter. And I hope to be the next, well, not the next, but I hope to be the heavyweight champion of the world. I'm going to Mexico soon. Got business over there. Boxing business. Keep your fingers crossed. It all works out. I know you made your money anyway. You can retire now. Well, I know you've retired from boxing, but what I mean is you can retire from life. I mean, you can go to Spain, you know, Malaga, you know, and retire and sit on the beach every other day and, you know, put your feet up. You could, I'm not saying to do that, I'm saying you could do that. You're that wealthy now, you're that successful, which is good for you, you made it. You take care, mate.